Hi there. At the beginning of this year, I had a goal to start January with the book Atomic Habits by James Clear. This book is an amazing read, highly recommend it. When I first started reading it though, I decided to post online to see if anybody else wanted to read the book with me. To my surprise, after I announced it on social media, I had over 100 people from around the world sign up to read the book with me. I was not expecting so many people to sign up for this book reading challenge in January, but I'm so happy that it happened. So much so they decided to formalize everyone into a formal book club community. I'm calling it Presently Reading. This is the book club where we believe reading should be a mindful and present experience. And so far, it's been a really great time. It's been such an amazing experience. It's impacting my reading habit in ways I had never imagined. In today's video, I want to share with you 6 different ways being part of a book club has actually benefited me in my reading routine. Now, I will say, if you're a nonfiction reader, I would love to have you be a part of the Presently Reading book club. The link down below for that if you want to join, but I am not here to advertise just that. If you're a fiction reader or anything else, I really want to encourage you to find a book club regardless of who's running it. I really think it's something everyone should be part of. Let me explain why I think so. The first reason I have for being part of a book club is accountability. Accountability is so important when it comes to reading books, especially if you want to build a daily reading habit. Now, in our book club, Presently Reading, we read at least one nonfiction book every single month, and that is the guarantee that I'm trying to work towards. If you join the club, you are guaranteed to read one book every month as long as you're an active participant. And that is the beautiful thing of being part of a book club. You have this accountability over you to make sure you actually read every single day, regardless of how much it is. You have a deadline of finishing a book by the end of the month. That is something you simply don't have when you're reading on your own. When we first began reading Atomic Habits, I was forcing everyone to read one chapter a day, and that worked really well. But for most books out there, it doesn't really work out so cleanly where you can read one chapter a day and finish the book in 1 month. So now what we're doing is reading a certain number of pages every day. I give everyone the flexibility to read at their own pace, but I do recommend reading a certain number of pages so you finish the book by the end of the month. And that's how it should be. Having this accountability with dozens of other people reading the same book as you at a similar pace really motivates you to finish the book and read a little bit every day. The second reason I have for benefiting from a book club is basically finding your people. In real life, I don't have any friends who like to read books, and the very few that I know who do read books don't read nonfiction books. It is really hard to find people in the real world who read the same genre of book that you do, especially with the same passion and excitement that you might have. When I made this book club, I was shocked and pleasantly surprised to find all the amazing people from all around the world, different countries, everywhere, who love the same books that I do. That really made me feel like I'm part of a community. And not only that, we're not just talking about the books that we're reading. We have a space now where we can chat about other topics like Kindles, Kobos, all e-readers, and other tech. It's a great space to just nerd out about book and reading technology. I never would have had this had I not announced a book club thing like this. I'm so grateful for it. So basically, you find your tribe of people when you join a book club, when it's revolving around the genre of book that you're already interested in. The third benefit of being in a book club is your knowledge retention from the books you're reading. Now, admittedly, this is going to be more for nonfiction readers, but especially if you're a nonfiction reader, it's so important to have a system in place where you actually remember the things you're learning from all these great books that we have. And being part of a book club does exactly that. In our Presently Reading book club, one thing I really encourage everyone to do is after every chapter, regardless of the pace you're reading at, when you finish a chapter, log on to the discussion board website that we have and share your key lessons, takeaways, and thoughts about the chapter you just read. Now, yes, this is a little bit of extra work. It requires a bit of effort, but if you do it, you really are articulating all the knowledge you learned, writing it down and sharing it. You're so much more likely to retain that information when you put it into words and share personal stories with other people who are also reading the same book. I always try my best to post discussion questions for other people to reflect on, and I always try to answer my own questions whenever I can. And honestly speaking, my knowledge retention has increased, I would say 10 times because of this one tactic alone. For Atomic Habits, I would not have learned so much had I not had the community community in all the discussions that were happening after every single chapter. The fourth benefit of being in a book club is being able to learn from the experiences of other people. As I mentioned before, we have people in the book club from all around the world. And when you're part of a virtual book club, that's the beautiful thing. You have anyone joining from everywhere, and it's such a wonderful feeling meeting people you never would have interacted with had it not been for books. When you add in the element of discussion posts along with the reading, you now have a vibrant community of people sharing their thoughts and perspectives of the book that you're reading. Now, even though we're all reading the same book, it doesn't mean that everyone will take away the same thing. I've been shocked at the amount of times I've logged onto the discussion board and seen the experiences people are sharing based on the chapter we read. I took away one thing, but 5 other people took away 5 other things I would have completely missed had it not been for these discussions. Everybody in life has their own experiences growing up, so you can't really compare one person to another when they read a book, and it's so wonderful being able to share what you personally took away and learn from other people who are reading the same book but taking away something completely different. The fifth benefit of being part of a book club is having a system in place to capture your top takeaways from every book that you read. Prior to the book club, what I was trying to do is always go onto Notion or Evernote and just jot down my top lessons after every book I finished. Unfortunately, I never actually did this. The idea sounds amazing. You capture all your top lessons from every book that you read, so you have a database in the library of the best topics and lessons that you've read across every book, but it honestly just never happens because you have to force yourself to go on and do that when you finish a book. When I finish a book by myself, I typically just start the next book and completely forget about the book I just finished. With a book club, at the end of the book, you're actually looking forward to compiling all your thoughts and sharing the top 5 things that you learned with everybody else and seeing what everybody else took away from the book. One thing we're going to be doing in Presently Reading in the future, one thing I would like to do is having community events where you get on a Zoom call or do a live stream or something like that and just talk it out and have a fun time like that. There's so many book clubs in the world where you get together with friends in person and you can do something like that. The point is you get to share your excitement at the end of a book and really celebrate the fact that you finished a book together. That's a feeling that you just can't compare when you read by yourself. The sixth and final benefit I have for being part of a book club is reading books that you never heard of before. When you're part of a book club, you kind of just have to go with the flow and read the book that is chosen. Now, for me in Presently Reading, I do intend on polling and asking the community for book suggestions, but I also want to surprise and delight everyone by finding books they probably wouldn't have found on their own and reading them as a group. And that's the beautiful thing about being part of a book club. You'll never know which book you have to read next, but you will be reading a book every single month. One thing I always hate is after I finish a book on my own, having to select the next book I want to read. There's always so many options to choose from. Being part of a book club completely eliminates that burden. You just go with the flow. You can trust the book that you're going to be reading is going to be good because in the genre that you like and everyone else has the same interests as you do. It's just a great feeling. It just makes life so much easier. Those are my top 6 benefits of being part of a book club. Again, if you want to join the nonfiction book club I have called Presently Reading, link down below for that. But putting that aside, if you want to be part of a book club, chances are you're probably trying to read more books. I have a whole video talking about 10 different tips you can read more books with. Link for that on the screen right now. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.